we had. We actually put a little money into it already in January. Sean, the zone leader from North, came to me with some additional repairs. We kind of looked at the depreciated value of the vehicle and the cost of repairs, and basically, with the value being around $2,500, we're looking at another $3,500 in repairs. We've already put a couple thousand into it, and I said, let's look into what the trade-in value would be. We're able to get $7,500 trade-in, and we have the money available in the current budget, in our budget for vehicles this year to actually purchase a new truck. So the thought being, rather than put money into something that is just going to continue to cost us money, to get a newer truck that, basically we're seeing 7 to 10 years out of our plow trucks rather than keep putting repair costs into this one.
Makes sense to me, so we did.
Yeah, I forgot to ask for a motion, so.
All right, so moved.
Yeah, all right, thanks. It's basically the same thing. Any other questions? All right, pretty straightforward on surplus property there, so I'll make a couple of notes. And Mr. Bates, and Mr. Law.
Yes.
Okay, next up is Commissioner's time. I have a couple of things. We're doing a small, calling it a second ribbon cutting for Maple Highlands Trail South with the completion of the paving project last fall. We're going to do the spring celebration, so welcome to attend. It is Saturday, April 21st at 10 a.m. It is downtown Middlefield with parking at the Middlefield Fire Department. There's a little pocket park there in the northwest corner of State Routes 87 and 608. And we will be celebrating alongside Middlefield and opening that trail. So, and I think we're all looking forward to spring. So if you can attend, that's fine. If you can't, that's fine. Also, it's going to slip through the cracks with me being out of town, but it's April 21st at 10 a.m. So the other upcoming event, a little ways off, but Sunday, June 10th, is our annual Caveman Crawl 5K trail running race at the Westwoods. I believe that starts at 10 a.m. If you're interested, let me know. That's it for a couple announcements. So I'll defer to the commissioners.
Two things. First of all, I'd like to talk about the grapevine eradication in some of our parks. Walking through Swine Creek or Sunnybrook, Heath Road, some of the others, I noticed that I don't see a lot of cut vines. Now there are those that have opinions that that is a natural feature of the park. It shouldn't be, they should not be addressed. But I do know that grapevines tend to choke out the canopy of a lot of these beautiful trees. And if you want to see them pulled down by the grapevines, I guess you leave them alone. Or if you want to see a forest thrive and survive, then you cut them. Now some will argue that those are it's an indigenous part of the forest. I would probably disagree and suggest, without having any evidence, and this is just my personal opinion, as having a grandfather who had grapevines and vineyards and so forth, that birds tend to eat the grapes and do what they do. So, don't know. I'm not a biologist. I just know we manage a few thousand acres of forest and areas, and about 1,000 of those acres we've gone through and eradicated a lot of the grapevines, and it really does help. So any comments on how you guys manage?
Sure. Yeah, I can certainly speak to that. And it is something that we discuss annually and regularly with Natural Resource Management Department. So of course we do a lot of invasive plant management in the park district. And one of them has been, over the years, on and off, it's very site-specific with grapevine control. So you are right, so grapevines are native. They're actually very beneficial to a lot of songbirds. I saw a really interesting research presentation a couple of years ago by someone local here that studied the parks. I want to say something like 75–80% of forest nesting birds use grapevine. They strip the bark off grapevines and use it to build their nests. So it has value ecologically for birds. But you are right. So I see it like, it is a concern when I see it getting into a really nice oak hickory, some sort of forest that we really like, that's not as common in Geauga County. Like I could give you an example over here at Woodland Woods. We have some issues over there with grapevine. I talked to my staff about that this winter, about getting on top of the grapevines over there. Because they can damage certain areas where there's disturbance and a lot of grapevines come in. They can get up into the canopy and take down a lot of desirable trees, so oak trees, or be it large beech or maples, whatever it is, but they certainly can. So we have done some control. I want to say years ago we did some down at Fern Meadows. There were some issues down there. We did work down there. Sunnybrook, I know that there are some things going on there. We haven't done a lot of work in Sunnybrook, but we can certainly look into it.
Swine Creek looked like there was quite a bit.
Swine Creek is another one, yeah, that's a great forest community over there, a lot of really high quality wildflower, communities there. So it's something we can put on our radar. Like I said, we do routinely kind of discuss grapevine control.
That's a good time of year to go through it before the.
It is, yeah, so it's definitely something we talk about quite a bit. And it's limited resources, time, effort, only a few land stores and 10,000 acres. It's, but we can certainly start looking into it more.
Okay, great. There's another matter that I'd like to discuss, and I'm going to read the statement so that I can submit it for public record. I wish to take a moment to address a matter which has been in litigation and concerns a dispute between the Park District and an individual, Shelley Chernin. Ms. Cherin's claim is related to her request that the Park District provide her a copy of a letter addressed to me, which I mentioned but did not read out loud at this board's August board meeting. At the time, I indicated I would not provide the letter to the board for public record purposes, as the writer had concerns about revealing her identity. After I referenced the letter and the author's concerns about being harassed, Ms. Chernin made a demand to see the letter. In our effort to respect the request of a resident of Geauga County, and in consideration of the author's sincere concerns that if her name would be known, she would be contacted or harassed by those who hold an opposing view, the Park District, on advice of legal counsel, declined to provide Ms. Chernin with a copy of the letter. This denial of Ms. Chernin's demand was made in good faith and based on our belief that it did not constitute a public record of this body. Furthermore, a public body has the right under the law to assert such a claim, and it was our intent to honor the author's request. Ms. Chernin then sued the Park District in the Court of Claims, claiming the letter was a public record. Efforts to settle the matter were unsuccessful. Last week, a special master in the court in Columbus issued a report and a recommendation to the Court of Claims, concluding in a 13-page opinion that these letters were actually two, constituted public records and should be provided to Ms. Chernin. Although the board could not object to this recommendation, the board could object to this recommendation and pursue further court review. We are not willing to spend additional park resources fighting. Speaking for myself, I do not agree with the special master's report, but I have concluded further expense and effort on this matter is not justified. We will provide the two letters in full to Ms. Chernin. I also intend to read them out loud to you now so that you can get a sense of why I hesitated to bring them into the public record in the first place. In my opinion, the writer expresses concerns that her opinions might lead to unwelcome attention to her from members of a group whose views are different than her own. That is the point I was trying to make in August, and she purposely did not use her last name in either letter. Hi. Enclosed is a letter summarizing my thoughts about the park system. Feel free not to read any parts you feel are not appropriate. I was not sure about including the part about the drug deal. I chose just to sign with my first name as I am a little concerned about being annoyed by the group that does not want development. I am not interested in being converted. If you want to contact me by email I'll leave that out, you can get it from the record itself. Please do not give the email to anyone else. Have a great day. And then her name. July 2017. About 10 years ago, I moved to Chardon Township into a home walking distance from Big Creek Park. I was excited to have access to such a beautiful and well-maintained facility and began walking in the park multiple times a week at various times. I purposely chose various days and times to walk as I did not want to establish a pattern because the park was always so empty. Often I did not see a person throughout my walk. I became more anxious about my safety. Then about a year ago, in the middle of the afternoon, a car was parked in my driveway. I walked down to see what was the issue. The car was inhabited by an undercover officer who identified himself with credentials. He and others were waiting as they had a tip